Well, what's going on, Cardinal Nation? Well, what a great way to close out the 2024 season for the St. Louis Cardinals. A 6-1 win today over the San Francisco Giants. And rookie pitcher Michael McGreevy with 8 innings of one-run ball in the season finale. And just his third start of his career, and boy, in these 3 starts, he's impressed us. He gave up 3 runs in his previous start against the Rockies, and in his first career start and in his major league debut, which was the last day of July against Texas, he went 7 innings, gave up just a run, and now this one 8 innings. So boy, this definitely is giving us a glimpse of the future, and just a great way heading into the offseason and what could be a pretty big offseason for the Cardinals. And well, this unfortunately was probably the final game as a Cardinal for Paul Goldschmidt. He's going to be a free agent, and it looks like the Cardinals will not bring him back once free agency starts after the World Series. And it's a good stint as a Cardinal for Goldschmidt. I mean, he won an MVP, but the past 2 years he's really struggled. And it's a bit of a shame, just 2 years ago he won an MVP, and now he's taking a big downfall, and, still had a solid season, but just not really in his prime anymore. So, 22 homers for Goldschmidt this year. He had 25 last year. And in 2022, his MVP year, he drove in 115 runs and batted .317. This year, he batted just .244. So, so we would take a 1-0 lead in the top of the third. Brendan Donovan, a solo home run. His 14th of the year, 72nd RBI to put us up 1-0. It would stay that way until the top of the fifth, when Donovan would drive in a second run to put us up 2-0, and then Alec Burleson with an RBI single to put us up 3-0. Then the top of the sixth, Jose Fermin with an RBI single to put us up 4-0. Fermin getting the start at third. 4-0 Arenado. Arenado not in the lineup the final 2 games of the season. So, and also, of course, Arenado just 2 years ago was, I believe, third in MVP voting for us. Last year had a streak of 10 straight Gold Gloves end, and so he's definitely taken a decline as well, but still, solid, or pretty good. So, and then Alec Burleson would drive in 2 runs in the sixth to put us up 6-0. So Burleson capping off an outstanding season, leading the Cardinals with 78 runs batted in this season. Outstanding year for Burleson. And 21 homers. Goldschmidt, though, finishes the season leading the Cardinals in home runs. And McGreevy, 8 innings, gave up just a run on 5 hits, struck out 6, and then Steven Matz would closed out in the 9th. So, and Matt Carpenter could be the final time we see him. He got the start at first base, and then left the game after getting a base hit in the second. So, so maybe this could be the final game in the career of Matt Carpenter. So, a lot of lasts it could be for a number of Cardinal players, and we'll see what happens with Dolly Marmol and the rest of this coaching staff. So, and John Mozeliak as well. So, and we finish the 2024 season with a record of 83-79. That's tied with the Cubs for second place, but we actually finish ahead of the Cubs due to owning the tiebreaker against them. So we finish the season in second place and at 500. So, but unfortunately, of course, we missed out on the playoffs for a second straight year. So, and yeah, but we end the season on a solid note. But just I really thought that we were gonna go from worst to first. Last year we finished last, and I thought we were gonna end up in first place, win the division, and fortunately that was not the case. I just thought with our additions in the off season, adding Sonny Gray and Kyle Gibson, that this team would improve, and it did improve, but just not enough. So, and the Milwaukee Brewers were into the Central Division, probably the most surprising team, I'd say, in baseball this season. Them and the Guardians as well. So, but yeah, the Giants not going to the playoffs either. They finished with a record of 80-82, so that's just under 500. So, under first-year manager Bob Melvin. So, anyway, yeah, so, our 2025 season, our first game will be at home on Thursday, March 27th against the Minnesota Twins. That's right, opening day at home next year against the Minnesota Twins, who thought they were going to be on the playoffs, but they had a huge letdown at the end of the season and are now eliminated and are done. So that should be interesting, opening up the season against Minnesota at home. What's interesting is that our first three opponents next year are American League teams, the Twins, Angels, and Red Sox. So, interesting way to start the season there. So, and yeah, and also this was the final game ever for the Oakland Athletics under the name Oakland Athletics. They'll be moving temporarily to Sacramento starting next year. And then, of course, in 2027 or 28 will be moving to Las Vegas. So, but yeah, so I mean, it was a solid season for us. Just definitely not what we wanted. It still was a solid season, but definitely better than last year. That's for sure. As last year we were probably the most disappointing team, one of the most disappointing teams in the league, and yeah, so just be interesting to see what moves we do in this off season. So, but yeah, so and all these youngsters, the rookie Sajasi, who's been pretty solid ever since he debuted, and now McGreevy has been very good, and Mason Wynn an outstanding rookie year. So definitely should get some rookie of the year votes. Probably won't win it, but should probably finish in the top 10 and maybe even top 5. So anyway, yeah, so I guess till next year. Hard to believe that this season is now over. Season flown by. Started all the way back at the end of March, and now 6 months later, it's over. So, yeah, too bad. So anyway, the playoffs begin on Tuesday, and there actually is a doubleheader between the Mets and the Braves that has huge playoff implications. That's tomorrow, and that's basically a winner go home scenario for both teams. So, and yeah, so I guess till next year, 2025. So, as always, comics are saying, go Cards.